This is suffering for your art. Nobody I know enjoys wearing spirit gum.
Jonathan Beck Reed is a born thespian.
This is a little tricky, this makeup, because we play women too.
He suspects his talent might be genetic.
My mother was always interested in theater. She had performed in theater when she was in college and high school, and her dad had been an actor.
His mother saw talent when Reed was just a boy growing up in Oklahoma City.
She recognized in me something I didn't even recognize in myself when I was a little kid. I was very shy, but I had this enormous creativity, and I would like read a book or watch a TV show or go see a movie, and immediately I would have to extend the story. And so I would dig through closets, and I would go out in the backyard and forge together a set, and I would go out there for hours, and I would either do what I had just seen, or I'd create something new based on characters I had just seen in these TV shows and films and things. And she would peek at me through the curtains, and she thought, this might help sort of bring him out. So my mom got me into acting classes, Mummers Theater, and I was there for about 8 years, and then I got into high school theater and junior high and then high school, and then college theater.
When he graduated from Oklahoma City University, larger stages were calling, and thanks to his hometown training, Reed was ready.
I went to New York. I got lucky. I auditioned for a national tour of Cyrano de Bergerac, not thinking much would come of it, and I got cast as Cyrano. So it was extraordinary. I mean, I've been blessed.
Even though his first role was that of a leading man, this actor's real love was what he saw as more interesting characters.
And an autographed copy of the
I never wanted to play like the leading man. I always wanted to play like the old guy or the crazy person or the woman or I always wanted to stretch, and that was what was disappearing in the character was always what was fascinating to me. Not playing a version of myself. That was never appealing, and I had to fight that. Because when I was younger, everyone wanted to cast me as like in a leading man role or as the all-American guy next door or something, and I would turn things down because I didn't want to do that.
Good, maybe she'll pass out and we won't have to listen to her.
I've always been fascinated with character parts. My dad introduced me to Lon Chaney because he was a huge fan growing up of Lon Chaney, not Lon Chaney Jr., but Lon Chaney, the Man of a Thousand Faces, and he would buy books and show me pictures of him and the various, makeups that he did, and I was fascinated by it because I thought, I want to do that with my face. And I was fortunate, I've always been fortunate in that I have kind of generic features. I don't have like prominent features except for my forehead. So I could kind of mold my face to look like anything I wanted it to look like. Some of the roles that I like the most, that I've done a lot, are Will Rogers' Follies and Little Me and Greater Tuna and Music Man and Fiddler on the Roof. I've done many shows. It's sort of hard to remember all of them without having a resume in front of me. I've done All My Sons and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Of Mice and Men and Threepenny Opera, at Pirates of Penzance. Grease. I've done Captain Hook and Peter Pan many times. Me and My Girl, which is a musical. Big River, Mystery of Edwin Drood, How to Succeed, not How to Succeed. Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. I'd like to do How to Succeed, but then it's really not a role in it for me anymore. My Fair Lady, I did the national tour of My Fair Lady. 42nd Street I did forever. Don and I did that together, as a matter of fact. Don Jordan, the artistic director, and my co-star in Tuna Christmas.
The Dash Down. Got him from Petey Fisk. Of course, at that time we did not know he was a cat hater.
And we did it in Israel, which was really interesting. We did the Israeli company. First we did the third national tour in America, and then we went over to Israel and did it for 3 months.
Reed realized his childhood dreams on stage, and he even became friends with some of his childhood heroes, people like Rip Taylor and Don Knotts.
Don Knotts and I became very good friends, and when he passed away, his wife, Francie, asked me to come speak his memorial service, which was, I've never been that nervous in my whole life. Because I didn't know what I was, I didn't have a script. And I thought I was going to go up with a couple of other people, and then they came up and said, no, we want you to go up alone. And there's Andy Griffith on the front row, and there's Ronnie Howard over there, and there's Bob Newhart and Tom Poston and Barbara Eden, and all of these celebrities, you know, these iconic celebrities from my childhood are watching me and waiting for me to say something, and it was a great experience. But you know, and a great blessing for me to work with him and get to know him and study him on stage. Working with Rip was great. I did the national tour for him and played Hysterium, and he was Pseudolus, and he was a trip. But it was so odd that these are two people that I really looked up to and respected and admired, and they were part of that fraternity of performers that as a young actor you look to and say, I want to work with them someday, you know? And I had the opportunity to work with both of them in long-term situations and in a very close way and get to know them and become friends, you know?
After living in New York 12 years, Reed was established as a stage actor and no longer had to audition to find work. So he returned home to Oklahoma, where he performed in the landmark OETA series Oklahoma Passage and was a favorite as Will Rogers in the Will Rogers Follies.
It's a pleasure to see y'all. Boy, now, I tell you, I haven't been back here in quite a spell, but, well, as you know, I used to be pretty popular once upon a time.
Reed's return was the beginning of what you might call his life's second act. He married Amy Reynolds Reed and had twins, Grayson and Ember.
I met my wife and you know, had a reason to stay besides my family. So I wanted to be around my family. I miss them and I love them, and I'm glad I did, because when my mom passed away last year, there were no regrets. You know, I didn't feel like, oh, you know, I had that opportunity and I should have taken it. You know, I got to spend a lot of time with my mom, and there was nothing left unsaid.
Today, Mr. Jonathan Beck Reed is perhaps busier than ever right here at home. He and his friends from college, friends he worked with throughout his career, well, they all came home too, and together embarked on a theatrical mission called the Oklahoma City Repertory Theater, better known as City Rep. On this late November night, Reed and his castmate Don Jordan are putting on a two-man performance of A Tune of Christmas.
Oh, me too. I miss old Trudy like a rash.
Where's your Christmas spirit, Arliss?
Oh, don't get me started. Trudy and I got divorced because of Christmas.
That's right, I forgot.
She wanted a set of Japanese steak knives, and I got her a heating pad instead.
That was when she poured all that grapefruit juice into the Christmas punch.
She sure as hell...
City Rep is one of just 2 unionized theaters in the state.
We wanted to do something different, and I think there are a number of really good community theaters around and regional theaters, but there's only one other equity theater, and that's Lyric, and that's a equity guest contract, so it's not a full equity house.
Oklahoma actors who leave to work in unionized areas have a hard time returning home to earn a living, because once you're with Actors Equity, you are obligated to do equity theaters only.
It was important to us because, for one, to have a home for actors to come back to who have gone off and made careers, because we want to remind people how much talent is in Oklahoma. We wanted to be able to offer that, what we didn't have when we were in school. You couldn't get an equity card here. There wasn't an equity theater. And so that was one of the first things we thought, that if we get a theater, it's got to be union, because we want the kids who come here to have that resource, that if they choose to become unionized, that they can do that through us. So that was really important to us, to offer, you know, not the next generation, but a generation and generations to follow what we didn't have.
When he isn't on the stage, Reed is busy helping those future generations he spoke about. Besides teaching acting classes at his alma mater, Oklahoma City University, he also teaches a younger group at his private studio in Edmond.
Now, this is important, Ryan, when we do this in the future. Don't give up if somebody else gives up, because actors are leaders, not followers. You're all leaders.
I didn't expect to ever get back into teaching. I had done workshops and seminars and things like that as an actor, a guest artist and that kind of thing. And when my wife said, hey, you know, there's a lot of people that are interested in taking acting too, and are interested in taking acting from you, and so why don't you try it? And I'm like, well, you know, I'm still touring. I was out of town 8 months a year, and I thought, well, how can I have any kind of a schedule to teach? And so I put it off for a while, and she kept just gently nudging me in that direction because there was an interest. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'll teach one class. I'll offer a class. And it was packed. And I had all these wonderful kids show up, and they were bright and interested and talented, and I just got hooked because you look at them and you see in yourself, first of all, yourself when you were younger, and you wanted someone to guide you who had some experience. And I would think about all the great teachers I had, and I started to feel not only like it was something I wanted to do for myself, but I felt a responsibility.
Several of Reed's students have gone on to perform on Broadway, television, and in regional stage productions. And he isn't just passing on the technical aspects of how to be a good actor. Reed is passing on his philosophy.
Even if the person had a bad day at work and they come in and you make them laugh, that's a difference. Or if you're doing a drama and you do something that is thought-provoking, or you make them think about their life in a way they hadn't before, or somebody else's, that's really terrific when you can make people think about, oh, you know what? I'm going to look at the world a little bit differently because of what I saw on that stage.
It's not to Lubbock. I'll kill myself.
That is what feeds me. Making a difference, having a way to make a difference that's uncommon. You know what I mean? And so that feeds my soul, is changing lives. I think in a positive way.
Here's hoping Oklahoma's young actors can learn the lessons offered up by the Thespian.
I paid Julio minimum wage to glue that baby into the manger. I'll see you later.